Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, hello everyone. My name is Fauzan Fitra, and today, as usually, I will do my own task. Yeah, it's summary video, and for this summary is case number 15, and I think this case is will be interesting because the title is Sony Battle for Video Games and Supremacy. And the insight of this case is will be talk about a console like like Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Wii, and the others. Okay, let we get started. So, in 2006, a time when everyone was wearing low-rise jeans, baggy jeans, and everyone listening to music on iPods, and most importantly is getting ready for the biggest fight in technology. Sorry, if you are a gamer in 2006, I think you will feel like you were in the middle of the movie because at the time Sony is the king with the PlayStation 2, and Sony was about to drop his brand new console. Yeah, it's called PlayStation 3. Yeah, this is a really big news for every gamers in 2006. And of course, the competitor wasn't just sitting and see Sony release the new console, no. Like Microsoft had already released the Xbox 360 a year early and had 4 million units in home. Meanwhile, Nintendo at the time, the company was everyone thought it was done or gone, but the Nintendo was teasing a weird little machine called a Wii, or we usually hear it is Nintendo Wii. And I think the Nintendo Wii is the unique console in here. Yeah, I will explain it later. Okay, let's be back again. Sony CEO or Sir Howard Stringer know that this wasn't just about fun and games. This was standard of war. The standard war. Sony wasn't just trying to sell you a normal console. They were trying to win the battle for the future of movies, Blu-ray versus SD DVD. If the PS3 was filed, of course, Sony Wall Movies empire could crumble. And because of that, this case we will going deep into the most important thing, yeah, is the strategy, the money, and the drama that changed a gaming world forever. Okay, first let's we talk about the strategy. First is about Sony powerhouse strategy. Sony target the core games. Mostly people in their 20s want the most realistic high tech experience possible. The PS3 was a monster of a machine with because it could play any games in PS3. It could play any games, movies, and connect into the internet. Sony Sonic goals was to dominate the living room by getting you a machine that almost can do everything. Okay, next is Microsoft, and the strategy is the social. Yeah, social strategy because Microsoft had a huge head start. They realized that the future of gaming is wasn't just about playing alone, playing a single player, no, but it was playing together online. Yeah, playing together with friends. Their secret weapon was Xbox Live. They create they create a unified online world where you could talk with your friend through your headset and download new level for your favorite games. They were they were the first to make internet connectivity the start, the heart and soul of the console. Yeah, and I think because I'm already using Xbox Live, it's really helping me. Yeah, it's really useful to play with my friend, and it's really easy because we just log in into an Xbox account or Microsoft account, yeah, and then yeah, just play it. Okay, and then the last is Nintendo with the Wii strategy. While Sony and Microsoft is fighting over who has the best graphics, Nintendo Wii did something totally unexpected, and it surprised everyone because the Nintendo target is everyone. Yeah, basically everyone. Your grandma, your grandpa, your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, or your friend that actually doesn't play in video games. Yeah, this realize. Okay, let's be big again. Yeah, this realize that for many people who doesn't play video game, console were getting too complicated to play or to enjoy. So they made the Wii, Nintendo Wii, with a motion control. It's basically if you want to play tennis, you just swing your hand, you just swing your arm like a real tennis. And for the other is if you playing a sport game like maybe running, yeah, basically you actually running in the real life. Yeah, you're running in the real life in front of your screen, and that's why it was simple, it was fun, and it's more cheaper than Microsoft than PS3 or Xbox because it just costs you 249 US dollar. Yeah, it's half of the PS3 price. Yeah, Nintendo Gold was like I say before. Nintendo goal is to turn your mom, your dad, or everyone doesn't play in video game into the gamers and can play every and can play every game in Wii. Okay, okay. So n- now we have to talk about the moment Sony almost broke almost broke the internet with their PlayStation. Yeah, because if you don't know, the price of the PlayStation is almost 600 US dollar. It's really high, or the more, uh, yeah, the actual price is 599 US dollar. That's why I said almost $600. For a regular person, 600 US dollar for a gaming machine is sound crazy, yeah, because it's really high. For 30 years, console is seen as a toy for kids. Suddenly, Sony was asking for the price of used car or high uh, end computer. This created a massive psychological barrier. Consumers didn't Consumers didn't see it as a toy anymore. They saw this is the investment they couldn't afford. But this is the crazy part. From a business, yeah, as we talk about the business perspective, the PS3 was actually a steal. Why? Because in the inside of the PS3 there's a Blu-ray player. Yeah, if you know in 2006, if you want to an electronic store and you buy a standalone Blu-ray, it will cost you nine until 900 until 1,000 US dollar for a Blu-ray. But by selling the PS3 for 599 US dollar, you actually can get Blu-ray. So Sony was actually losing about 2015 US dollar on every single unit they sold. This is what we call a loose leader strategy. Sony hoped to sell the console at loose just to get the people into their ecosystem so they could make the money backdrop from game sales and royalties. But the math, the math didn't matter in here because average customer, all they saw was the Wii was $2015 and the PS3 was 1600. Sorry, yeah, $600. Sorry, and the PS3 was $6,000. Sony was bet Sony was betting the PlayStation brand was so strong that people would pay anything. But with almost $600 proved to be a wall many friends just couldn't climb over and get the PS3. As the technology get better, the games got way more expensive to make. In the old days, a couple of people could make a hit game in a garage. By 2006, you need 20 to 13 people working for 80 months just for one game. The budget, oh yeah, of course, is exploding because it can reach until 5 million US dollar or more per title. Because of stake, because of stake were so high, the new business was started, and it's called defensive talent acquisition. Tech giant like Sony and Microsoft realize that a console is only as good as its games. If your competitor has all the best developer, your console just an expensive box of plastic. So they started shopping for the studios. And why was this defensive? Because first is owner equal profit. Usually a console maker get about 5 to 7 US dollar every single sold. But if you own the studio, you can keep all the money. Right? And the second is blocking the rival. In 2002, Microsoft bought a studio called Rare Ltd, a massive for a massive 375 billion US dollar. Sorry, million US dollar. They also famously bought Bungie, the team behind the Halo, for around 20 to 15. Oh, sorry, until. Oh no, my nose. Sorry. Yeah, they bought Bungie Studio for around 20 to 14 billion US dollar. By this time, Microsoft ensured those hit games will never be on a PlayStation. Yeah, for make it simpler and easier to understand, it's like a sport teams buying all the best players so just other team could have them. If you want to play Halo, you have to play on Xbox and it cannot play on the PlayStation. This was an era where the exclusive became the most important weapon in console war. Uh, sorry, I need to cut my video because my nose is getting struggle. Okay, let's we continue. Yeah, in this new world of 5 million budgets, the industry becoming a blockbuster driven. Companies stop taking risks on a weird experimental game and start focusing on the franchise. A franchise is a game that people love so much until they will buy the sequel every single years. For the example, it's Medal NFL and GTA 3 or Grand Theft Auto 3. These games made $100 million in 2005. Eight of the top 10 selling games were of the PlayStation 2. For developers, this was a bit a struggle because, oh my god, yeah, sorry. Okay. Let's be start again. For developers, this is a struggle because many of them want to create new creative things, but publisher want incremental improvement to what already work. The tension lets some developer to leave and start their own independent studios, which the big companies would then try to buy up again. It was a cycle of money and the creativity that turning gaming into a multi-billion-dollar industry. The 26th era was also when gaming became a social network. Microsoft Xbox Live is the leader in here. They realized that even the game was old, people would keep playing if they could play with their friends. They won't let you download premium content like new maps for Call of Duty. It's for $5 until $15. But as the games become more social and more realistic, they also becoming a little bit, not little bit, becoming controversial. With the power of PS3 and Xbox 360, Violent didn't look like a cartoon pixel anymore. It looked like a real life. People were worried that games like GTA, San Andreas, or Doom design were getting dangerous for kids because yeah, in GTA we can do anything and it's worrying and it's dangerous if the kid doing what we're doing in the games. So this led to huge legal battle and the creation of the ESRB rating to tell their parents which game were okay for their kids playing. Uh, there was there was even a huge scandal in here, and it's called Hot Coffee, involving hidden content in GTA San Andreas, which made people trust the rating games even less. Political like Hillary Clinton, even tried to even tried to pass law fine store for selling mature games or to minors. Gaming was no longer just a hobby. It was a huge major part of the cultural conversation. So move on in here is Sony, Nintendo or Microsoft. Yeah, in the short term, Nintendo Wii is took the world by storm because it was fun and affordable, of course. But Sony and Microsoft bet on the living room PC eventually paid off as well. Analysts predict Analysts predicted by 2010, Sony will eventually claw its way back to 15% of the market, while Microsoft and Nintendo will split the rest. But the real winner is us, gamers or users, because the 2006 War Games is give us a Blu-ray, multiple Blu-ray, incredible online social network, and games that look like Hollywood movies. And maybe that's all for me. Thank you for watching. If I have wrong information or wrong word, I'm sorry. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.